Hello, this is Sock My Fanfic.
The internet's most cockney podcast, isn't it?
It's a Cockney podcast, isn't it? Is that like...
I wonder if there is a cockney podcast.
Well, now I kind of want to be the only one.
Just for people who like to get their Dickens on.
Yeah, ooh. Get this Dickens on. I wonder if that's...
Oh my god, we should do just Charles Dickens fanfic. We should do a...
Well, we've already done one. We have. For Christmas, isn't it?
Oh, that's true. No, we should do a Drabble Fest of just Dickens.
Oh god, I think I know like.
I wonder if
Dickens
there's like
stories.
Virginia Woolf fanfic. Yeah, we should just like pick literary greats and do a. I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe this is someone's first episode. And they have no idea what I'm talking about when I say Drabble. Well, let's do the intro.
Oh yeah. So this is Suck My Fanfic. My name is Alex, and my co-host name is Ryan. The
least cockney person you know.
Yeah. I'm the second least cockney person you know. We review, talk about, read, and interact with fan fiction because it is, after all, a fairly interactive medium. Sometimes we talk about pop culture stuff, and I think we always talk about bullshit. So here we are. This is what we're doing. Do you have any arguments with with me, Ryan?
No, I mean, BS crosses all cultural boundaries, so it kind of gives us Kate Blanchett to talk about whatever we want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and instead of Penn and Teller bullshit, it's Ryan and Alex bullshit. And instead of them like talking about, why like conspiracy theories are bullshit, it's just us actually talking about.
It's
bullshit.
us talking about why conspiracy theories are legit.
Yeah. Sometimes with fan theories, I think we definitely get in that territory. But here we are. We're doing it. We're gunning it. And this is, what is this? 57th episode? Yes, it's our 57th episode.
I don't know, something like that. Suck on that, Penn and Teller.
Bet they don't have 57 podcast episodes.
I bet they don't. And if they do, I bet they don't have exactly 57. They might have like 59.
And what do they have? A critically acclaimed Showtime television that ran for 8 seasons? Fuck you guys. Come on. This is more impressive.
It's so... Premium cable? Is it even streaming? I mean, it probably is, but like, come on.
It is on Hulu. It is on Hulu. Great show, by the way. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's a great show.
I have not.
Great show.
We're going to do our own TV show. It's going to be a TikTok exclusive.
Oh.
We signed a huge deal with Quibi as well.
Yes.
Quibi's just giving contracts to anybody. So we're going to do fanfic. I didn't know. This is me telling you this. Quibi came to me. They gave us a $50 million 6-episode buy. The deadline for the scripts is tomorrow, and I have not even started.
Okay, well, to be fair, if someone said $50 million and you got to write 6 scripts by tomorrow, yeah, let's do it. What the fuck?
Here's the thing, though. I kind of have already spent a chunk of it, so I really don't even see any incentive to write the scripts.
You know what? Quibi will just use it as a write-off, and it'll be fine.
I'm Quibi's dependent.
Yeah, the intro to our show is just us TikTok e-boy eye-rolling for 30 seconds. Just back and forth.
While the Drake and Josh theme song plays in the background.
Yes! It's going to take some time to realign. Mm-hmm. It's not realized.
Yeah. I saw... I think we did a Drake and Josh fanfic, and you told me that then.
Well, this is a piece of information I'm very passionate about, apparently, if I'm going to mention it twice.
You're trying to spread the good word.
I really care about Drake Bell, and I just want to make sure his lyrics get out to people, so, the right way. Well, sick. Here we are. Normally, we do a stupid opening thing, which was that. Next, we normally do another opening thing, typically news, but, I feel like we've done so much news. I wanted to do something new. I'll give it to Ryan. We'll see what you think. We'll go back and forth on this. Depending on how much we like it.
A little volley. A little intellectual volley.
And
yes,
it is intellectual.
Serve it over the net.
All right, you ready? I'm about to serve.
I'm waiting on the balls of my feet.
Do not make this an ace. You ready?
I
pulled up a random cartoon character generator, and I'm going to ask you, fuck, marry, or kill. You ready?
Okay.
Donald Duck, Minnie Mouse, Cruella de Vil.
Donald Duck, Minnie Mouse, Cruella de Vil. Okay, marry Minnie Mouse. That's a classic. She's a classy dame. That's easy. Great style, polka dots. I'm gonna go. Fuck Cruella de Vil, and I think that's the only way you can play this one,
dude.
Because I feel like she's absolutely crazy. Plus, I'm picturing in my head the Glenn Close version from the live action movie, who just took whatever was going on with that illustration and just made it pop on screen. I mean, it's fashion. We're talking fashion. And if I'm spending one night sleeping in, plush Dalmatian furs on a bed, some high rise in Manhattan or London or wherever they are, I'll take that and I'm killing Donald Duck. that hard.
So I'm actually gonna I have 1 point of contention, but I totally agree with the Cruella de Vil. She just seems like she could give you that 360 up and down slop top spectacular.
Just start playing that sound clip in the background. Just play it underneath this entire discussion
from the grapefruit video.
That's
yeah,
exactly.
She's so crazy, which is probably a good thing for her in this conversation. However, I think Minnie's hiding something. She's always got that little bashful look on her face. She's always touching her face, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so cute. You don't know what's going on." No. Her boyfriend is literally in charge of the most evil empire on the face of the earth. And you know what? Whether or not Donald Duck worked for the Nazis in World War II, there might be footage of it. I don't know. Walt Disney wasn't weird and anti-Semitic at all. I'm marrying Donald Duck, and I'm fucking blowing Minnie Mouse's brains out.
You're really gonna. Well, here's another thing. Reason I'll give you Minnie Mouse is because if you're marrying Minnie Mouse, then Mickey's out of the picture, and more than likely, they had some sort of Jeff Bezos, Mackenzie Bezos divorce.
No.
So you're inheriting quite a bit.
The thing is, I don't think Mickey rolls that way. I think Mickey would come back as a crazy ex, and honestly, I can't trust that Minnie's moved on. If I'm be honest with you. So I feel like, and also, I don't know where this marriage is going to lead, but I kind of want a fighter. I want someone who's going to stick up for me, and I think Donald, I think he has those characteristics. I don't think Minnie does, honestly. So I'm.
Okay.
Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
It's okay. Okay. So I'm going to generate more. All right.
Okay.
Oh, this one's good. Fuck, marry, kill. Good. Superman, Butters, Stewie Griffin. You want me to answer this one first?
Sure. I'm thinking about it.
So for the...
I know you're going to... Yeah, I know what you're doing.
Well, for the sake of not wanting to go to jail because two of them are children, obviously Superman's the fuck. He's got the rock hard bod. Overall great guy. And, he might give you a watch afterwards where if you're ever in a pinch, he'll just come and save you because of that, that one time that you let him rock your world, because we all know Superman is definitely not a bottom, which is fine. I don't really want that to happen to me, but if it's between that or two children, I guess I'd pick that. The Mary would be Butters. I just feel like he'd be a really good housekeeper. And then Stewie Griffin's the kill. I just can't trust him. Just can't do it. It's funny, though, because I guess the only one who's canonically gay is the one I picked to kill. But whatever.
You haven't been reading the DC comics that I've been reading, so obviously not.
You aren't reading real DC comics.
I'm gonna fight you on one of those points. I'm gonna kill Stewie. I agree.
Yep.
He's annoying. I just don't care. And as we've mentioned, we have at least Cockney accent. So even though his accent is Cockney adjacent, I just can't. I can't have that. I can't stand for that. I'm gonna have to marry Superman, because if I'm fucking Superman, as is explained in movie canon, he's gonna have to lose his powers. If he kisses me, I'm gonna forget who he is. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna have to lose his powers. I can't rob the world of its greatest champion, of its savior. So we're just gonna have a nice platonic civil union. And he can, take me up to the Fortress of Solitude and show me all his science experiments. Essentially, I'm going to be Jimmy Olsen. They're already in some sort of, bromance there. So that's a role I'm really comfortable with. I'm going to go with that. He's going to pick me in his arms and fly me around. It's going to be great. And then I guess I'll fuck Butters. It's not going to be pleasant, but it's kind of the leftovers of this situation. I think there's two obvious choices, and then this is the unfortunate byproduct. Don't want to do it. But that's just where I'm at.
So if a kid's taken advantage of sexually by an adult, that's okay as long as Superman can be around.
Yeah, I mean, afterwards I'm going to feel awful, and Superman's going to just pick me on fly away. Also, Butters is 10? He's been 10 for 20 years.
Yeah.
So who's the younger one here?
Oh, what if he has one of those developmental disorders where he's in a 10-year-old's body, but he's really 30? But
that could be good. Yeah, like an Andy Milonakis situation.
Yeah, but would you want to have sex with someone like that?
Absolutely not. Like I said, I have two clear desires, and the third one I really don't want to do. But
ableist statement.
Myself.
They can't help that.
What?
They can't help that they're like that, and you're absolutely not. I'm just. Sometimes you say things and you amaze me. I just want to say that.
Well, I didn't mean it, so you're welcome.
Okay, I have.
Let's do another one. Let's do one more.
One more. Okay. Are you feeling?
This will be quick.
Are you feeling good about this? Do we feel good with this? It's another one that's three dudes. Do you want to do it?
Sure.
Peter Griffin, George Jetson, or Arthur the Aardvark.
I mean, we've already established I've already established how I like Arthur very early on, episode 2.
I know, I'm scared.
I'm gonna marry Arthur. I'm gonna fuck George Jetson because he's super rich and he's from the future. So maybe I don't want to spend a lot of time with him because he's a super annoying voice and he's got kids. I don't want to be involved with the kids. Really,
and that fat ass robot.
And you want to talk about yeah, that's gonna be too tempting for me. You talk about an annoying wife. I don't want to be involved with that.
Well, who's more annoying?
And on the way out the door,
George's or Peter's? Peter.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm gonna kill Peter Griffin. I just don't like Family Guy, I guess.
I honestly, just because of who's in this round, I'm agreeing with you. I mean, we're totally in agreement with this one.
This one's pretty clear.
We
ended on pretty.
Well, let's.
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
You want to do one more since that one was? I mean, there was no contention on that one. There was no argument.
Okay.
Okay. So I have like the random generator, and there's one that is Josie and the Pussycats, and of course that would be the fuck. So I can't even. I can't even do like. That one's not fair to both of us. Sorry, I'm just like trying to go through this generator and like get good ones. It's a shame that so many cartoon characters are children because it's just weird. Otherwise,
it is really unfortunate.
Yeah. Because how are you supposed to play FMK with just a bunch of kids? I don't feel comfortable.
What do you expect me to do when all of them are children? I have to do it. I find myself doing it. I just don't know.
It's like war games. Like the only way to win is by not playing the game. Okay. I guess this one works. Jerry from Tom and Jerry, Tweety Bird, Stan Marsh.
Oh my god.
Stan Marsh.
Dude, honestly, this is just not a pleasant situation to be in.
Is any fan fiction a pleasant situation to be in? FMK, my friend.
I was about to say. You said Tom, or I'm sorry, you said Tom, right? Or Jerry?
Jerry the mouse.
Oh, Jerry the mouse. You know what? I've always thought Jerry was very smug, so I'm gonna kill him.
Really?
I have never cared for him. Yeah, I've always thought he was just a bit much for me. And then I guess oof. I guess I'm gonna have to fuck Tweety Bird because I just couldn't stand that voice every single day. Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna marry Darsh.
Hey, Darsh. You know what? I'm
just so Randy can be my in-law. There you go. I feel good about that.
Yeah, you know what?
To have Randy come to like Thanksgiving dinner. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, again, I can't fight you. That was good logic. I was gonna fight you, and you pulled out Randy, and I'm like, nah, I'm there. I can agree with this.
Spend some time on Integrity Farms. Just a beautiful plot of land in Colorado. Yeah, I'll do it.
All right, we're in. That's it. Okay, well, look at that. Did that feel productive? Did that feel like a good opening topic?
Yeah, man, I feel like I'm ready to take on the world right now.
All right, good. So now for our main course, the soup du jour. It's a video game. Mm-hmm. Do you want to know the video game? I mean, I guess when I start reading, you'll know what it is pretty quick. So. Guess the video game.
Alex. I already did Tetris. You can't pick another video game. Tetris is... I've already done Tetris. You can't do Tetris 2 times in a row.
Well, it's close.
It's the only video game that makes sense. So I'm going to say Tetris. And I'm going to say checkmate.
Have you... It is a chess game. It's a chess fic. How'd you know?
It's chess.
No, I'm totally joking with you. Have you been on the App Store recently, or YouTube, or any social medias to see the memes of what the big game is at the very moment?
Is it Call of Duty Cold War?
It is Among Us.
Oh.
Have you played Among Us?
Yes. I have not, but I am familiar with it.
Okay, so yes, I hadn't played it until last week, and now I'm finally in the Among Us universe, and obviously I've already dated this entire episode because it's not going to be popular in 2 months, but I don't really care. Everyone will remember. It's just like Flappy Bird. Like everyone remembers Flappy Bird, even though nobody plays it anymore.
Oh man!
So
yes.
Among Us, it was one of those things where it wasn't even me not doing it because I didn't want to go with the trend. I just didn't have time to play Among Us. But I had a little bit of free time. I was with some friends. They were like, "Yo, have you played Among Us?" I'm like, "Nah." And they're like, "All right, you're gonna hop in." It's not a good game to play in the same room as your friends, but it's fun. So basically, the point is you have up to 9 players. You connect online unless you're doing some like weird ass LAN party from the early 2000s, and there are 10 of you. And depending on the game mode, either 1, 2, or 3 of you are the quote-unquote imposter. The game mode I prefer the most is 2. I feel like 3 is just too many. And with 1, you really rarely ever become the imposter. And it's fun to be the imposter. And it's fun to have another imposter play with you, because then you guys can both kind of big brain it and make everybody second guess who's the imposter. So basically what happens is you're on a spaceship, everyone is a different color, and if you are not an imposter, you are all trying to complete separate tasks, which are basically like little mini games, sort of. And these separate tasks help fix the spaceship. And if you all complete your tasks before the imposters kill all of you, you win the game. And so they're like mini games. They're like little tiny. I don't want to call them games, but they're these little tiny tasks. And so typically you're not the imposter. And so you're running around like fixing wiring. You're shooting asteroids. You're doing all these different things. It's a lot of fun. Then let's say you become the imposter. The sole purpose of the game for you is to kill the rest of the players and not get found out. So, like, let's say we're both playing, I'm orange, you're blue, and I'm running around and I'm just offing people because I'm an imposter. If you come across...
Yeah, orange do be kind of sus.
Orange is kind of sus. If you come across the body, you can report it right then and there, and then we have a meeting. And everyone comes into this chat room, and you're like, yo, who's sus? That's the lingo. Yeah, who's sus? Who? Well, first, it's annoying because everyone spams where. Like, where'd you find the body? Like, that ever helps. First off, it doesn't. But everyone just...
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't, because everyone's like, oh, I was in electrical. I wasn't an admin, so I don't know who was there. Yeah, we know. You're not the one who reported the body, dummy. So everyone just says where. Like, very quick. And then once you determine where, which doesn't help, and then everyone goes, who? And normally if you saw someone kill someone and then you report it, you're just going to say, I saw green kill black. You know, it's not, well, I don't know who it could be. And so, you do that, you do the where, you do the who, and then you have a voting period where, as you're arguing, you can vote on who you think is an imposter. Or you could skip, which is good. And that's when you're an imposter, the skip function is actually where you really finesse. Because you kind of want to be active enough, but not so active that you're always pointing fingers as an imposter. Because then people are going to kind of know it's you because you're trying to divert blame. And if someone is like, no, I know for a fact it's blue. And then we all vote blue out. And then, there's the funny video with Coochie Man where he gets kicked off and he's just like floating off into space. If we all vote off Coochie Man and it wasn't, the person who was so gung-ho that it was Coochie Man is immediately suspicious.
They're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call an immediate meeting and kick that person out.
Exactly. And so the thing is like, even if they aren't the imposter, the fact that they were so toxic, just self-regulate boot. Like, it's quick. And so it's really an exercise in the social contract. It really is. I mean, this is a sociologist's dream. I mean, game theorists should be studying this game because it is so much.
That's just a theory,
a game theory. But it is definitely an exercise in trust and group dynamics. It's really interesting. It's a lot of fun. And when you become the imposter, it's so much fun to mess with people. And it's so much fun to just fuck around and kill people. And I was playing with one of my friends, very recent. We were in the same room, and you're not really supposed to say if you're the imposter or not because your friends will boot you, bro. If they think you're the imposter, there's no loyalty in this game. Like, hoes are not loyal. And I was playing with my friend, and he just straight up, he gets killed, and I just go, who was it? And there's a function where the doors can close, and then you can't let go between the rooms. And so the door was closed, and there's a vision function. So if the door's closed or you're behind a wall, you can't see what's on the other side. So logically, I would have never...
Yeah, that's one of the coolest mechanics, I think, is that
Yes.
field of vision.
I totally agree. It is very interesting, and it definitely changes the game. So he was behind the door, and he died. And so logically, I couldn't have seen who had done it. And by the time the doors reopened, the killer had already gone, and then I reported the body. And immediately in the chat, I go, it's Black. It's Black. It's Black. No question. And Black's like, dude, what are you talking about? How would you even know that? I'm like, it's Black. It's just Black. And everyone took my word for it. And then he got booted. And that was hilarious because, I was dying. And there's a ghost chat. So when you die, you don't get kicked out of the game. You turn into a ghost, and you still have to complete all your tasks.
And you walk around.
Yeah. And you can fly through walls and stuff. It's a lot of fun. And so, literally a minute later, I died. I got killed. And for some reason, whenever I die, I just go to ghost chat, and I just put fuck, like F-U-H, just for fun. And this dude has the balls to message me back and goes, karma, bitch. And I'm like, karma for what? You were an imposter. And he's like, no, that's karma. You shouldn't have told everybody I was an imposter. I'm like, that's the game, bro. Why are you mad at me for playing the game? Don't hate the player, just hate the game.
People get mad at you for for shooting you in COD.
Exactly.
That's great. Yeah, when I first saw that, I was like immediately like, that's a freaking genius idea. It's like when you used to play Werewolf or Mafia with a big group of friends, and then put into just like the internet where you can get random big lobbies and groups. And the ambiance of like, it's kind of like Alien, and it's also the movie, and it's also kind of like The Thing, like that old like the John Carpenter movie. It's like, yeah, it's just, and with the tasks and everything, it's so well made. It's so simple. It's like when I saw Fortnite for the first time, I was like, eh. When I saw this for the first time, I was like, that's really smart. That's something I could get behind.
Yeah, and it's a game that you can hop on and play for 5 minutes and then go. You know what I mean? You're not like Fortnite. Those matches can last 20, 30 minutes, however long. Among Us, you're hopping in, you're going, you're cycling through really quick. There's 3 different maps, so there's a lot there.
Plus, it's got like that Webkins animation style. It just brings me back immediately.
Yeah,
that like you know what I'm saying, like Club Penguin kind of vibe.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. There can be lobby making issues sometimes, but other than that, it's streamless, dude. I mean, you are, if you want to be in a game. Normally with the lobby, when you're picking lobbies, you have to pick one that has, I'd say, 5 to 7 people in it. Because if it has 8 or 9, you're not, someone's already in the lobby. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't auto refresh. So by the time you click, online play, someone's already in that lobby, even though it's displayed that there's 9 people. And then you have to, get booted from the lobby screen and then go back to it. So, but it's fun. So it's a cool game. It's all these different things. It has its own lingo, its own language. Its own customs with the wear and all that stuff. It's very interesting. The sus thing is so funny to me for some reason. And I also really like the idea of different names. This isn't going to come into the fic, but there are always these different names that because you have to pick a name for your character. And so it's just funny to see what people pick. When I was playing with my friend, there was one character and the character's name was Black Man. And he just goes, "Oh, it was Black Man." I'm like, "Bro, shut up. Like come on. It wasn't
not
Black.
a good look.
Yeah, he's like,
not a good look.
He's like, "Okay, fine. Don't believe me." And it was Black Man. He actually was one of the imposters. He just totally.
Honestly, that's a genius. That's a genius strat.
Yeah, my strat is to name myself Red and then pick any color that isn't red, because there's just that little bit of like that second of confusion of like which red, and that's enough for me.
Yeah.
That's enough for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You just want people to hang up a second at the polls. You're just trying to like grab the margins. That's like if Joe Biden right before the election was like, "My name is now Donald Trump." It's like I'm just going to try to like the people who get confused and try to grab those on the edge. Who don't know what they're not paying attention.
Yep, that's pretty much it. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So I have found a fic on Archive of Our Own with almost 1,300 kudos, which is a lot for.
That's a wow.
Yeah, it's been out since September.
It's a passionate fan base. That's a lot.
I have found.
When did this game come out, by the way? Because I've only become like aware of it in the last like month or so.
I really have no idea when it came out. This says it's from September 26th, so I guess it's been out for at least a month. But I can also tell you it's really weird looking over these fics. The Among Us fan community has a very comprehensive lore. Yeah, like it's like
their canon is legit.
It's canon that yellow is non-binary, and it's I don't know. It's just strange that they've given all these different colors these characteristics, and it's canon that black and white are in a relationship or something. So it's really strange that they've taken literally these generic colored characters that have nothing, like no personality, and they've like universally given them personality to write about. It's just interesting.
Right. Hey man, that's art. That's why an artist can put a blank canvas in a gallery and people will find something to find meaning in it.
I mean, duct tape a banana to a wall.
Write about blue curtains. Yeah, and like totally shut down an English department as they argue about why it's this way or that way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So you're going to get a little bit of that lore in this, which is fine. But it is Archive of Our Own. It's called Trembling Inside by Novocaine Stars, which is kind of a cool name.
Yeah, I like that. Novocaine Stars.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, if I was making a fictional rock and roll band, that would be the lead singer's name.
Yeah, that's good.
But not a real one. It'd be a fictional one.
Yeah.
It has to be really fictional, like fake like that.
Yeah. I think the only other thing about the game that I forgot to mention is that if you go to the cafeteria, which is where you start, you can call a meeting. So there's 2 ways you vote. You call a meeting, or you discover a body. Yeah. So right. I want to explain that because I think I remember it being in this one. I read through a few. So
how does the killer win? There's literally like it gets down to 2 people, and they're like, "I think you're the killer." Well, I think you're the killer, and then they just get killed.
No, so it doesn't get down to 2 people. If there's one imposter and you can make it past the 3, if you can somehow convince the other 2 that you're not the imposter, then you win. If there are two, it depends on whether or not one of the imposters is already dead. Then it just reverts back to the one imposter rule. If there are two imposters, if you get to 5 people and you're able to convince someone that neither of you are the imposter, then you... basically, there's never the same amount of imposters as there are crewmates. All right, maybe I'll put like scary music over this because it is supposed to be a horror. Hey, Red. It was Orange. Red made a face and turned around, away from the wiring. He was never particularly good at it, and it was hell when he got assigned it, standing for about an hour tying fiddly pieces of wire back together. Not to mention, electrical units were notoriously unsafe now, so his hands got a little slippery, and that didn't help. The rise in imposters on various stations hadn't helped his anxiety much. Thankfully, Mira 9 HQ hadn't been infiltrated. Yet. Everyone was on high alert. No one was dead yet, but every time Blue turned communications on, the news of all the dead stations made everyone panic. Made everyone suspicious. Black and White were never seen apart now, always had each other's backs. Blue had allowed them to do tasks together, knowing that she might as well make it official. Yellow and their girlfriend Green tended to stick to the greenhouse and admin office as much as possible. Cyan, a second in command, helped Blue, and the two of them did their thing, tried to maintain calm. Pink did odd jobs around the station and tended to flip between Green and Yellow, and Cyan and Blue. Out of all of them, Purple didn't seem particularly bothered. But then again, he was Purple. He was never bothered. Always the loner. And that made him sus. But then, there was Orange. Forgotten. Just a little shifty-eyed and seemingly everywhere at once, and right there when you least expected them. Hello? Red debated taking his helmet off, but decided not to bother with it. Orange could keep theirs off if they wanted to, but here was the thing. Red didn't really trust Orange. Didn't hear you coming, Orange. Orange shrugged, their unnervingly bright, tawny eyes fixed on Red. Orange was the quiet one. Everyone knew them, but nobody did. Their tongue was a little too long, and Red thought that their teeth glinted oddly. They could be the little ghost girl in the old Earth horror movies if their hair was long and black instead of ginger. In other words, Orange was sus. Hella sus.
Oh man, if this is a novel, I want every chapter to end with, but then again, Orange was sus.
But Orange was sus. It was a shameful thing, but Red didn't particularly mind. See, Red and Orange had an agreement. Red hadn't gotten laid since color assignment day, where an Orange with freshly dyed hair, who presumably known Red during the before, had cornered him and fucked him into the near surface, which happened to be a wall. But that had been a whole 3 years ago now. A year ago, Red had caught this Orange, his Orange, in a way, staring for just a little too long, and with their pupils just a little too wide, tongue circling their thin lips. They'd come to an arrangement. Whenever they both felt like it, Red allowed Orange to have their way with him. He didn't particularly care what they did as long as Orange could stop if he told him to. Red didn't know if it was an Orange thing, but this Orange also liked to fuck. And they liked to fuck hard. As in, Red couldn't walk or sit properly for a few days hard. They made it work, though. Red didn't have any particularly amicable feelings towards Orange, and Orange never gave him any reason to develop them. Do you ever? Orange replied. They smiled, the expression warping their face. Red couldn't help backing away into the still open wiring cabinet. Guess not. Orange took a step forward. Red didn't know what to say. Red! That was Black. Thank the void. You done with the wiring or not? We've got... Oh. He stopped in the doorway, blocking out some of the light coming from the corridor. It was always frighteningly dark and electrical, and the shadows twisted like snakes. Orange?
Great imagery. Great.
I'm right there with you. Orange? White poked his head in over his husband's shoulder. You've done your tasks? Why are you here with Red? I could have sworn you were on the balcony a second ago. Orange stepped aside, and Red unglued himself from the wall with a grimace that was hopefully hidden by his visor. Orange started, and then the alarm started blaring. White went the color of his suit, hair and face blurring into the exact shade of the clouds outside the windows. His eyes, dark despite the pallor of everything else, skittered around and settled on Black, who took his husband's hand and squeezed it. Orange didn't seem fazed. Red felt his stomach drop. We just installed new tech, Black rasped. The alarm filled the rest in for him. There are 2 imposters among us. Well, shit. Red ignored how high his voice sounded in the ringing silence, then the alarm left behind. Who's dead? Shut your trap, Red, White snapped, shaking Black's hand off and jamming his helmet on. No one. Yet. Get to the cafeteria. He jogged out, followed by Black. Orange looked at Red strangely, then followed the crew members out, putting their helmet on as they strode through the doors. Red swore and scrambled after, shutting the still unfixed cabinet with the clang and tried not to feel too scared. What do you think so far?
So is it the lore that they're all like in a relationship with each other?
In this fan lore, yes. And most of them are in gay relationships as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it seems. And just for my education, thank the void. I love that. What is that? Is that a thing? Is that the lore? They don't have religion. They have the void.
I have no idea. The before time.
I do like this idea that there's like oranges and reds on every station, and you move around. And they all kind of have personality traits. Because like this like weird like dystopian techno future kind of setup where it's like, oh, those are the oranges, and then like you got the reds. It's like if you mixed like Starfleet from Star Trek with like Alien.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and I like that. It's like not really custom to take your helmet off. From what
I like that, and he's doing it. It's like creepy as heck.
Yeah, from what I'm gathering, just with this little bit of lore, I don't know trust me, I didn't read enough to get the full Among Us lore figured out. But from what I can tell, it's almost like maybe there was a mass exodus from Earth, and everyone kind of travels around in these Starfleets or something, and you have rotations. I really have no idea. But they give enough, like with the before time. What is that? When people were still on Earth, but it feels like they give enough to where you want to know what the rest of this lore is. But you kind of have to go out and find it, or you have to build it for yourself because maybe it's not there yet. So I think it's interesting. I don't think there's officially sanctioned Among Us canon by the developers, but it's interesting that this community has kind of ran with it. So they just had their first meeting.
It's like the big titty boat girls. There's like there is no canon because there was never supposed to be canon.
Well, there's canon, and it's big titty boat girls. So they just had their first meeting. Black and yellow were dead. Green was not an imposter, neither was purple. 2 imposters remaining. White was out of his mind with rage and grief. Blue didn't know what to do. Her captaincy not of much use anymore. However, they all still had to do tasks, trying to maintain some semblance of normalcy. Red stayed out of electrical as much as possible, and he'd been passing off his electrical tasks to the semi-suicidal and extremely vengeful White for the past week. But yesterday, Blue had noticed and sharply reminded him that it was his turn for today. So Red went, shivering and terrified, as he tried to fix the ever-breaking wires with unsteady hands. It was 15 minutes into the task when there was a slithering noise. Red froze, too scared to turn around. More slithering, muffled footsteps, getting louder. A shadow fell across the light cast by the corridor's fluorescent lamps. "Hey, Red," said Orange. "Didn't think you'd be here." "Didn't think I'd ever hear you coming," Red croaked and slowly turned around. Orange had half of White's body behind them and was holding onto the physicist's limp arm. Their helmet was cracked, and Red saw a glowing, slitted eye through the hole. The upper half of White's body oozed blood on the corridor's carpet. "Oh, Void," Red whispered. "Oh, fucking fuck." "Aren't you hungry?" Orange dropped White's arm and slammed the door shut before taking their helmet off. The imposter still had Orange's unassuming pale face, even though their eyes had slitted pupils and glowed, 2 points of dangerous orange in the gloom. "I thought you'd be mine by now. They said you would." Their tongue lolled out, far too long and a little rigid. "I want that in me," Red thought, horrified by himself. Orange had him pinned to the wall in less than a second. Superhuman strength and speed in one, lifting Red up so all he could do to keep his balance was wrap his legs around Orange's waist. "Tell me you want it," Orange breathed. Red shuddered. "If you don't want it, I'll go. Just promise not to tell." "You're an imposter," Red said incredulously, confusion momentarily dispelling the haze of aroused fear. "Why don't you just fuck me and then kill me?" "Because I love you." Orange stated it like it was that obvious. That simple. In a way, Red supposed it was. "Well, you're fucking lucky that was hot as fuck," Red wriggled out. Wriggled a bit in Orange's hold, and the imposter's unnerving grin made him shiver. "Messed up, but hot." Orange leaned down and mouthed at his neck. "I'm fucked," Red whimpered as Orange took one. I said it the wrong way. "I'm fucked," Red whimpered as Orange took one hand off him to reach down to his zipper. "Oh, vape it." I don't know what that means. I don't know what vape it means. I read that. I was like, I don't know what the fuck vaping it means. Does it just mean suck my dick? I don't know what vape it means. But whatever. "Wait." Orange paused, their hand hovering tantalizingly over Red's crotch. "You never said yes." Red groaned, his head hitting the wall. "Fucking stars, yes," he snapped. "I don't even know why. White is fucking halved over there, and all I want is for you to fuck my brains out, preferably with your alien gear if you have it." Orange smirked, lopsided, and dropped Red down. Red squeaked, but let himself be manhandled around. Orange shoving his pants down at hideous speed. Can we talk about how the alien asked for consent?
Dude, this is like the most woke. I mean, everybody's like non-gender binary. This is what the future's going to be like.
This is the future liberals want.
This is the future I want to live in.
Oh shit! No, Ryan. Red barely had time
Kind
to.
of sus though.
A little sus. Red barely had time to brace himself before Orange had something, tongue, shoving into his hole, and Red's eyes rolled back. Orange had no qualms. They fucked Red brutally, hitting his prostate dead on every time, and it was torture. Red did his best to hold on to the wall, but Orange was stepping back, leaving Red slumped onto the wall, panting. "You're ready," Orange said, matter of fact. There was an undertone of nervous smugness to their voice that made Red lift his head, though. "Ready?" he repeated. Orange's tongue flicked out over their oddly wet face. They took Red's hand and stripped the glove off with surprisingly delicate fingers, and then guided it back to his entrance. Red froze, then moaned. "The void, did you do? Oh, the void did you do?" he whimpered as Orange pushed his fingers in, which was coated in something hot and slick. "You'll be hungry soon," Orange whispered, letting go of Red's wrists to go for their belt. Red watched, hungry, something twisting in his chest as Orange drew out something decidedly not human. Red wanted it in him and whined as his fingers catch inside his oddly wet hole. "You'll be mine." "Wait," Red said sharply, biting his lip as he pushed his fingers in deeper. Orange looked at him, earnest, eyes glowing. "What do you mean?" "You'll be an imposter," Orange grinned again, and Red couldn't think for a second. "An infected like me." "Infected," Red echoed. "I bit you once." Orange leaned forward, mouthing at the juncture of Red's shoulder. "That was enough. This," they reached down and plunged their fingers in besides Red's, and Red's wailed helplessly, "means you're ready." So basically, Red managed to scrounge his brains together enough to put two and two together, and it should not have been as hot as it was. "I'm your bitch now? Wet and ready to fuck?" Orange shrugged, eyes flaring. "If you put it like that." "All right." Red hung his head briefly and then turned to Orange, finally aware of the fire seated inside him, burning like an unsatisfied hunger. "Well then fuck me. I'll be your bitch. Go on, fuck me until there are little mini imposters running around. Is that what you want? To get me nice and round?" And Orange pushed into him, and oh, that was definitely a tentacle. Red heard his moan echo around the room and dimly wondered if this is how he died, getting dicked down by an imposter. The tentacle was...
isn't that what we all wonder? Laying quiet, when those quiet moments come late at night, think, is this how I go?
I mean, as long as they're going to ask for consent, what's the big deal? The tentacle was wriggling around, and Red knew he was writhing in counterpoint, but it felt so good, and he couldn't bring himself to care. It was wet, and he could feel something slick dripping down the inside of his suit, and the feeling only served to drive him even more mad. Orange was skimming razor teeth across Red's neck, and they could bite, could slit Red's throat, could kill him in about 10 different ways, but all Red found himself caring about was how impossibly good the tentacle inside him was, hitting all the right places. It was like being stuffed full of cock, but so much better, so much more, and Red wanted to howl. There was an emptiness in him, and that needed filling, and Orange was so fucking close to filling it, to sealing the cracks and getting rid of the hunger. "That all you got?" Red pushed his hips back, wanting more and deeper. "Come on, Orange, put your back in it." "You really haven't changed." Orange drove the tentacle forward, and it swelled, pushing at Red's insides, and it was almost like it was rearranging his guts. Still a brat. "Well, you're a fucking..." Oh, Red cried out as Orange did something that made his legs give. Orange had an arm around his waist before he fell, though, so he hung limply in Orange's grip, moaning weakly. "I'm a what?" Orange asked mildly. Red made an unintelligible noise, trying to get more and spreading his legs wider. Orange chuckled. "I'm gonna..." Red tried to move his hips, but Orange was still doing something, and he felt too full, split in half, unable to move. Red didn't feel horrified enough at the fact that he liked the feeling. "I'm gonna come." Orange fucked in once, twice, and Red screamed, vision widening. He was
3 times a lady.
3 times a fucker. He was dimly aware of being even more full, the hunger finally sated. By the time he came to, he was stripped from the waist down, lying between Orange's legs. The tentacle, or whatever it was still inside him. His stomach was a little round, almost bloated. "Fuck," he moaned weakly, putting his hands over it. "Fuck!" "Orange kinda sus," Pink snapped, staring at Blue over Red's head. Red resolutely didn't touch his stomach. If Red didn't vouch for them. Cyan shrugged. "I say Pink sus." She smirked at Blue, then at Orange, and Red. "Let's vote." Pink was ejected. Pink was not the imposter. 2 imposters remain.
Oh, shoot.
Finn.
Nice. That inspired me. I like the imagery of that. I actually just sent you... I'm going to send you an updated one because I think I did a better job with it. Go ahead and check your phone.
Oh, God. Oh, nice. Oh, was that with the shadow like tentacle or like snakes?
Just like no, when they're in the room for the first time and black and white walk in. Just like I love that imagery of just like blotting out the light and yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, kind of lost me with all the sexual stuff. Not gonna lie, but I guess if that's how they transfer the imposter, I can get down with that. And it kind of also explains why there's such like a weird focus on relationships.
Yeah,
you know, it's almost like the imposter uses that to their advantage. If there was some sort of symbiote that was trying to infect a colony of people, and they were all about like pairing up. It seems like the most successful symbiote will be one that transmits it sexually.
Well, to touch on your point, I did mean to make it weird with the sexual stuff. But
okay, good.
The point is on Archive.
I'm glad I don't have to grasp at straws anymore.
No, the point is on Archive of Our Own. This is one of the most liked fics, and I think it's simultaneously.
And it's essentially tentacle. Yeah,
it's tentacle porn, but I think it's like simultaneously horror and porn. It's like some weird horror porn.
It's like body horror.
Yeah, it's like that, but with porn. The tags: plot, what plot? Porn without plot. Monster fucker writes sluts. Body modification, horror elements, cum inflation. We don't talk about that. Kind of breeding kink. Mildly dubious content. Dubcon, but also fully consensual. Consenticles. Absolutely consenticles. Tentacle sex. R.I.P. my soul. World building. Just a little bit for my sanity. Consenticles. That's a new word.
I'll never understand. I'll never understand the next generation. This is the moment where now I just become an old person.
You're an old head ass. Congrats. Consenticles. The person had some notes.
Right.
The author wrote some notes at the end. None of you are ever finding me, LMAO. That's the first note. Then they put edit. You lot are sluts. I love you. 150 plus kudos in about 12 hours. Holy fuck. Thank you so much. If enough of you call for it, I might write another fic like this. Ooh, the OWO. Edit 2. You fucking sluts. Heart. 500 plus kudos. And then like a surprised emoji. Edit 3. Yeah, I take back what I originally said, so come at me here. I don't post much, but I'll respond to questions. DMs, asks, whatever. Also, Jesus fucking Christ. Nearly 1,000 kudos? What the fuck? And now they're almost at 1,300, so.
So it's like all an algorithm. You just got to pick what's hot. Just like how we format this show and then write a fic about it.
Hey, maybe that's why we're doing an Among Us fic right now.
People really don't have like accounts to give kudos, so 1,300 is like a staggering amount,
especially for something like this, for something that is entirely non-canonical.
A lot of them are just like legacy kudos. Like, all right, this has been here, and it's like accumulating them over time. But for something this new to get 1,300, this is like the hot fic on the block.
I agree. I think it would be on the trending page for Archive.
I want to like volunteer for. I was about to say I want to volunteer for AOC. I want to volunteer for AOC. No, I want to volunteer for AO3.
Yes.
And yeah, try to get them like a trending or what's hot, you know? Because I feel like if they set it up a little better, they could really like get stuff like this and make it go viral. That way, it's not just like marysue.com, you know, reading a fic from like 10 years ago that they just happened to stumble upon. It can really come into the mainstream. It could be like a social media platform.
Yeah, I think if they made it a little more, obviously all anonymous, but a little more interactive, I really think Archive of Our Own could take off more than it already. I mean, it already is like the most popular website, but I think it could be something that's like a staple and a little more mainstream.
Dude, it's still the beta. It's just the beta. Archive
I'm so sorry.
It's still a beta. But yeah, the imagery was, I mean, quite disturbing, but yeah, it definitely created the atmosphere that I think I first envisioned for myself when I saw the game.
Yeah. And you know,
which I like.
They never explain who the imposter, like what the imposters are, who they are, what they do. Sometimes if you die,
okay, that was my question. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's death animations. Sometimes the death is you getting your neck snapped. Sometimes it's them like stabbing you in the back, and other times it's like a tongue going through your head. So it definitely lends itself to this like tentacle alien thing that we have in the piece.
Right.
But also it lends itself to just them being regular people. It all depends on, you know, what the animation gives you. So I kind of like that they
being the alien. But that gives like a great like kind of avenue for, it's like, you know, maybe some ships have aliens on them, and maybe some ships have people who are crazy and think everyone else is the alien. So it's like you never know what truly the imposter is or what their motivations are.
That is a big brain idea. I did not think about it that way. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like some stations are just like someone driven crazy, but it's all the root cause of, you know, there being an alien infestation. That is, yeah, that's great. That's really great. I fully expect there to be an Among Us like movie or like some sort of like Hulu, Amazon Prime deal.
At least like a fan thing or something. Because I mean, it's big. It's the memes are everywhere. You knew sus before I even started telling you about the game. Honestly, I didn't even know what the sus thing was until you played. But at least on my phone, the chat function is so clunky. So you are trying to type as little as possible, even though you're trying to be like, "Hey, I saw so and so like killing someone in here." But it was
it's hard. Well, you can play it on PC. You can play it on consoles. That's the other thing is it's so accessible. It's on the phone.
Yeah. I just play on the phone, but I'm glad that it is cross-platform like that. That's super cool. So it's a lot of fun. It's a good game. I mean, do we have any comments, criticisms, or concerns for the piece? The only one I have is that they spelled color with a U. What kind of backwater.
And as the pre-established anti-Cockney podcast, the least Cockney, not anti, just the least Cockney. I'm not big time against whatever that was.
I don't know what that is, but I'm not a fan.
I don't care to educate myself about it, but I hate it. Totally acceptable, totally good. I liked it. Good spooky vibes. I really want to watch The Thing now. I'm probably going to watch that today or tomorrow. Just gets you in the vibe for that. Or Alien, something like that.
I'm trying to read some of these comments. I just have to say thank you so much for having Orange ask for consent. That's like the first time I read one of the characters in these fics dudettes, and it was so good. Also, my monster fucker self is so satisfied I don't know what else to say. Hope I see more of your work in the future.
Consent is so important. My God, it's so important. Also, I love the tentacles. I love it. It just really did it for me.
Oh my God.
I love the people. I love the people on this website.
I'm trying to read. I can't even understand this one because it's another language. Bro, 1. I know you're not a monster fucker, so how did you write this so well? 2, consenticles are besticles. Heart with heart 3. 3, bro, this is literally how it's written. I don't usually read tentacle stuff, but you got across all thing I like about them without making it like non-conny. They literally wrote HHHH, comma, HNG. Also transformation, kinda quirky, not gonna lie. Eyes.
Ew. Okay, I'm kind of wishing I hadn't. Now I know what all those kudos are for. I kind of take that back.
Dude, that was so hot. I need more. I need to know if our like little sassy red is gonna get prego and have mini orange red baby hybrids. Okay, you've done it. You've made me cling on to this fanfic.
Red orange baby hybrid. Isn't that just orange again?
Yeah. Consent is sexy. The non-con fics make me go, because consent is important and it's sexy. And thank you.
Oh my gosh, this is how a radical movement goes mainstream. You just take all the gross stuff, but then have like one line where it's like, is this okay with you? And they're like, sure, you're literally murdering me and performing acts that are unspeakable. But okay. And that's that one little disclaimer is what takes things from the corners of 4chan onto the silver screen.
Yeah, it's like Jews are evil and own the banks and are pests, but also I'm going to give us, like, the best state-managed economy ever. And everyone's like, did you hear the thing about the economy? I heard his friend made the trains run on time.
Thing. Yeah, it's awful. Also, jobs.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, jobs, though?
His buddy in the South made the trains run on time. They haven't been late to a meeting in a long time, and we know how those Italians are. I don't know. Yes, consent is very sexy. Ugh, I can't believe I'm reading smut about little pinheads, but here we are. And honestly, I love this so much. Like, oh my God, this is one of the best things I've read on here. Consenticles, yes, please. I am here for this, and I'm craving Mauer. M-O-A-R.
A-R?
Yeah.
Great. Well, let's put a pin in it there, because I simply cannot stand another. M-O-A-R is one of my least spelling. It's right up there with RAWR. R-A-W-R. It's right up there. Those just make me so mad, because they're so descriptive, and I know exactly the intent of the writer. I just get it. And it makes me mad.
I know you want to put a pin on it, but I found one person who commented twice, and both of them are really funny, and I just have to read it. Never underestimate the monster fuckers. I main red, and now this will always be on my mind when playing. Thanks. And then the other one is that was at 3:19 a.m. and then this one's at 3:21 a.m. Not gonna lie, I've got a taste for non-con crewmate imposter too, but sometimes you just want to read some consensual ass wrecking.
This person is like this person's like they're like hanging out in the pool like, so what are you guys doing after this? What's going on? And everyone's like, no thanks. Like, we're all weird, but like you're pushing it.
Bro, we're going back to our hotel and like not hanging out with you. That's what we're doing. It's the hotel pool. It's the hotel pool.
All right. I mean, I'll be here. Got a fresh 6-pack of what's something that someone grows?
Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah, I got some Virgin Mike's Hard, just hanging out in this lukewarm body of water.
And he's like, "Hey, I don't know if you saw, but a pizza restaurant slipped some advertisements underneath their doors, and I will be ordering a medium later, but with just 2 toppings. I can only afford 2 toppings."
Just saying, there's gonna be pizza, and like, okay, all right. Pizza's crazy though, right? And you're just like, okay, I gotta go.
You're very nice, but please don't murder me in my sleep. So that was a fun fic. What do you think? I had fun with that. I think the comments were funny.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
the comments were really their own fictional world.
What is
the name of the person who left those 2 weirdly social messages?
Y3 Daner.
Consensual wrecking.
Y3 Daner. Let's see if they've written anything.
Honestly, they're being a little social. Y3 Daner, kind of sus.
They're a little sus. They're a little sus. What's even more sus is no one on Archive of Our Own uses like profile pictures or avatars, and this guy actually has one. It's kind of sus.
Wait, a profile picture or like a cartoon character or something?
Like a cartoon character. Like everyone just has like the generic logo as their thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's really sus. That's
Very
definitely
sus.
Like, hello, fellow youths. Like that's probably like an FBI agent.
Yeah,
Definitely getting a lot of traffic to this site. Got to monitor it.
This person has
fellow kids.
1,066 bookmarks on Archive of Our Own.
The database. That's an FBI agent.
That's a lot of bookmarks. They're looking for all the... No, if it was FBI agent, it would be non-Kong.
That's true. Well, they're looking for potential people to radicalize,
I guess that's true.
They're trolling the chat rooms. So sus. Let's eject them.
It's pretty sus. Right now, my fanfic on Archive only has 115 hits, which kind of hurts, but it's whatever.
You know what? I just had a great idea. You know how like social media platforms are trying to police like who's a bot and who's interfering with elections and truth?
Yeah.
What if Among Us is just like their way of training everybody to kind of like crowdsource and suss out bad people and like bad actors, and then they're just going to make that part of like Twitter. They're like, I don't know, man. Rachel Maddow, kind of sus though.
Not a bad idea. Rachel Maddow is pretty sus.
But just like, whatever your political leanings are, if everyone just kind of like got together and they're like, this person's kind of sus. Like they've tweeted about laptop repairs 10 times in the last 2 minutes. It's kind of sus.
2015. Hey guys, I think Richard Spencer's kind of sus. That guy kind of sus. That guy's not sus. Okay. We'll boot out Alex Jones instead. Kick his ass out.
There you go. Yeah, you ejected the imposter for sure.
But there were 2. There were 2 Among Us. Oh, that's the name of the game! Among Us! Okay, sorry. I just had to do that. Well, sick. I hope you enjoyed that. I had fun with that.
Yeah, I did too. That was good.
Nice. Well, what are you stoked on, my fam?
What am I stoked on? Didn't I tease something earlier? What was I saying?
You did tease something. I can't remember it.
What were we talking about?
I said something about video games.
Oh, no.
I don't know. Honestly, you forgetting you're stoked on is kind of sus.
So it was actually good. I think that was my predetermined one. I really don't know what. Wait a second.
You must not be too stoked on it if you don't remember it.
No, I'm extremely stoked. All right, I'm gonna cop out. You know the meal replacement Soylent?
Are you about to tell me you're a fucking soy boy?
I'm stoked on Soylent. I have 1 meal a day. I work at night. I have 1 meal a day, and it's a tall glass of Soylent. Does not contain human parts, contrary to the name. It's just
canceled.
Like a slurry of vitamins.
You are
it's a
canceled,
slurry
my
of just
friend.
Vitamins and nutrients. I drink 1 a day, like maybe 16 ounces. That's it. That's all I do. No other nutrition passes my lips.
You're gonna get moobs.
I'm stoked on it. I'm stoked on it in the sense that it's the only thing keeping me alive right now.
What happens
and then
when you
I
get
wish
the
I had a better
biggest,
stoked on
nicest man titties?
Hey man, no one's gonna see it. It's all over Zoom.
Have you heard that? I don't want to call it a conspiracy because I don't know if it's true or not. But have you heard what people said about Soylent and why there's soy boys are a certain way?
No.
Apparently, soy is like really high in estrogen or something. So the people that consume it a bunch get like moobs. I don't know if that's true. That's just something I saw.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have heard that, and it seems a little
sus.
It seems the jury's out, but honestly, it's the choice is that or just not eating at all. So I'll take the trade off.
I'd rather go eat McDonald's. At least get a fat ass. You know what I'm talking about? At least be a little thick. Little thicky for when orange comes in.
There you go.
Oh, well, shit. Okay. Well, man, our Stoked on section's going to be total dick this week. I'm stoked on Joji's new album that I teased.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It came out. It's called Nectar. There's a song called Like You Do, which is very slow. It's a ballad, but it's very good. I'm a very big fan of the album. I really, really like it. I think it's very good. I wish I had more to be stoked on, but I have been absolutely and utterly consenticled for the past 2 weeks with work. And so the only thing I've really had time to do is listen to music while reading. And Joji's been very good for that. So I have nothing but the utmost thanks for his help getting through these hard times.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm stoked on Soylent, so I'm very much the same way.
Yeah. I will say I did read, I know we've talked about it, the Tom King Rorschach. I know I texted you about it, but I figured we could talk about it pretty soon here.
This is a very notable, very public, non-stoked. This is a very pointed non-stoked for the Rorschach. That should be all over it.
Yeah, I like I said to you, it's a very vague story so far, and the pacing I would say is very slow, almost non-existent, and the twist. It's the first. You know what? It's the first issue. It's not a spoiler. Do you want me to tell you what the twist is at the end?
What's the twist at the end?
You know the variant cover and how it has the old guy on the front lifting Dr. Manhattan barbells?
Yeah.
Well, the first page is a guy in a Rorschach costume getting shot in the head. And they're going through the autopsy of who it is, and he had an accomplice because they were going to try to assassinate someone running against Robert Redford.
Oh, someone running against Redford, okay.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, we can figure out who this chick is, but we don't know who this dude is. And they keep looking, and they can't figure it out. And then finally, someone's like, hey, you know how we caught Walter Kovac back in the 80s, which is the original Rorschach? And they go, yeah. By the way, this takes place in 2020. They go, yeah. He's like, well, we were actually able to get prints from him from the documents he handled while he was getting the psych eval. And they're like, yeah. And they're like, these prints match this old man. And it's just like, no, Tom King.
Yeah, that's too much. I would expect Tom King to pull out of that nosedive.
You should.
That's too on the nose.
Well, not only that, I love you, Tom King. Rorschach, look, Watchmen's been out since the 80s. Also not a spoiler. Rorschach dies at the end of Watchmen for a reason. He does not compromise on his beliefs. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is not for me to comment at this very moment. He lets Manhattan blow him up because he refuses to compromise on his beliefs. By telling me that there's another Kovac...
Alex. He gets transported to another dimension.
No. Wrong.
And then he finds a way back. He finds a way back.
Wrong.
And then he goes undercover until the time is right in the
You're
2016 presidential election.
You're wrong.
I thought of my stoked on. This is my stoked on. I'm actually stoked on it. You can cut and paste, get rid of the Soylent, whatever you want to do. I am stoked on a podcast. Stoked on a podcast called Binge Mode. I think I mentioned it before.
You did. That's the thing you were going to say.
Yep, it's from theringer.com. It's just two people, and they originally went through and did every episode of Game of Thrones. Then they did all the Star Wars movies, just doing deep dives, analysis, talking about it, whatever. It's the kind of stuff I like to just put on and listen to. They have started to do Saga for each book, and I was like, they do Marvel movies, they do big properties, right? And then I was like, are you kidding me? They did 2-hour episodes on each book of Saga, and I mean, I love their analysis, whether you agree with it or not. It's just really exciting to hear people talk about it in depth with that level of passion for something that totally deserves it. And
do they
something
like
that's
it?
not just a big budget movie or something. They love it. They love it, of course. And it's just the way they talk about it, the familiarity. I don't know. It's a really good listen. Binge Mode recently started their series on Saga, and that's what I've been listening to.
I know we talked about Saga a little bit when we did our top 5 books.
A little bit. We only spent 40 minutes on it, so
only about 40. It really deserved an hour. I just want to give a big wag of my finger to all 5 of the people listening to this. If you like comic books, if you like comic book movies, if you like superheroes, if you like any of those things, if you like Romeo and Juliet or sci-fi or anything like that, go to your local comic book store. I will never tell you to buy something over Amazon like this. Go to your local comic book store. If you don't have one, find a indie bookstore online that will ship to your house and pay the extra money because it's worth it. And just get there are volumes and there's books. Did they talk? They're doing the volumes then, right?
Yeah.
The volumes are the trades. The books are the like trades put together. Get the first book if you want, but I wouldn't suggest that if you hadn't read it. Give Saga a try. It's written by a guy named Brian K. Vaughan. He also wrote a story named Why the Last Man. He's also writing Paper Girls, or wrote Paper Girls. It's over. He writes a lot of indie stuff. Gonna be real with you, not the biggest fan of his endings. Saga hasn't ended yet, so I can still be stoked on it. Saga is so good. And when people complain about the comic book industry or comic book characters or any of those things not being representative enough, not being diverse, not being any of those things, Saga does not have any of those problems, if that's something that really matters to you. And for the people who complain...
It's so not forced.
No, I was going to say, for people
so
who
organic.
complain... Yeah, for people who complain that sometimes the diversity gets forced and sometimes it feels like you're tokenizing a character just for, brownie points with a group of people, Saga's not like that. It's all original characters. It's Romeo and Juliet in space. It's magic. It's science fiction. It has a ghost in it at one point. There's a transgender character that totally makes sense. The book is so good, and I'm just begging you to read it.
And I'll put it again. We're just going to touch on it real quick for 45 minutes to 2 hours. I'll put a just pin on it for my thought. Is that what I realized when I was listening to it? The most exciting thing about it is like everything we have is so. You can get in a rut where you feel like things are derivative. It's like, oh my gosh, they're doing a movie, but Spider-Man, there's two Spider-Men. And oh, here comes a movie, but it's Sherlock Holmes, but it's his sister. Okay.
It's his sister,
oh, great. Yeah. Okay. And they're going to do, all right, but then this guy's a TV show. Okay, great. But then you start to think there's nothing that could be original. This is such an original. It'll cure your fears of that. Like, property can be new, it can be fresh, and it can immediately take the place of all your favorite classics. Like, something new can come along to just excite you and revitalize you in a whole new way, and that's what happened with Saga.
I'm with you on all of that. There's nothing left to be said. You put it perfectly. So that's cool. I'm glad that the binge mode. I'm glad that binge mode is covering that. That's cool. I'll have to give them a listen and see what they think about it. That's a good Stoked on. There we go.
I'll send you one of the episodes. Yeah,
you had a good Stoked on. You just had to remember it.
I did. That's what I was trying to tell you. You.
Well, sick. We're stoked on Soylent, Joji, and binge mode.
Crack open a Soylent, settle in, some Joji in the background, but really, put on the stereo system. That episode of binge mode, Saga Volume 1.
Nice. Yeah, do that. Like I said, I wish I had.
That's a weekend.
More to be stoked on, but I don't. That is a weekend. That's your whole weekend right here. We just planned it for you. Don't go trick or treating. Just do this. It's a lot more fun. Or don't whatever the weekend is that you're listening to this, because it's probably not going to be posted by tomorrow, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Whatever like cracked display is somehow playing this in the post-apocalyptic world. If you're a cockroach just crawling over the rubble and you've stopped for a moment to adjust your antenna and listen to this, just go ahead and do that this weekend.
Yeah. It makes you feel good hearing you say that. That's an optimistic view on the future. Sweet. Well, I appreciate y'all listening. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed us, we have a Patreons, we have YouTubes, we have Tweeters. Subscribe to us wherever you can, and smash like wherever you can, and give us a review if you feel like it. At this point, we're not even begging for 5-star reviews. Just give us a review. We're cool with whatever. If you want to give us
give us a 1-star.
Give us a 1. That's diverse. What is it? What's the spice of life? It's not what is it?
Variety.
Variety. Give us a little variety. It's the spice of life. Make it spicy up
Or if you live up here near New York City with me, it's everything bagel seasoning. That's the spice of life.
That is actually true. That's very true. Wow. If you're in Florida, it's a Everglades seasoning. That's supposed to be really good on gator, but I haven't had it yet, so I need to try that.
Yeah, it's like Frank's Red Hot, really.
Oh, Frank's do be put on a lot of stuff here.
That's the spice.
That is the spice of life. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the Among Us fic. And, Ryan, what should we remember?
It is kind of sus that you're spending your day listening to consensual, or what was it called? Contentical fanfics?
Consentical.
You do be kind of sus for doing that? Consentical? It's kind of sus that you're spending some time listening to some consentical fanfic. But, I thank the Void every day for you. And we love you. Have a good day.